welcome to the Audi Garage. To start off, I just want to let you guys know we're going to be changing up the video style from now on. I'm going to try to release a video a few times a week as the combination of a couple days during that week to show you guys the interesting or unique things that I might be doing around the shop. This will hopefully produce more regular content, but still be informative and interesting. I'll still do the project-based playlist builds. That'll be more planned out and probably take a longer time, so it's easier to reference in the future. But for now, I want to get out some regular content to you guys to enjoy. So if you have any comments or suggestions, or you like or don't like this idea, let me know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to see all the new videos that come out. So stick around and we'll see what we come up with today. So to start off, I have this Mark IV in the shop. It's not on bags, it's static right now. The owner will be selling it soon, so we're just fixing up a few of the issues that it currently has. There was a no start issue, no electronics, nothing was working, so quickly diagnosed that. It's just a dead battery to start, so we'll be swapping out the battery to a new one. We also have to tidy up some intercooler piping, as well as replace the regular stock subframe on the bottom with just another stock subframe. We also have some issues with the windows and lights not working. That might be associated with the battery, but we'll have to see what happens when we put in the new battery and start diagnosing with the proper power supply. One of the more annoying parts about working on static slammed cars is getting it up on the lift. This is definitely a time-consuming process, but using a couple blocks of wood and some clever jacking points, we'll get it up on the lift so we can work on it a lot faster. Got the car up in the air now, and to show you the problem with the subframe, as you can see there should be material there, and it's ground down pretty bad from being as low as this car is. So we're just going to unbolt dog bone mount, control arm, steering rack, and pop in the new one.
Yeah. Like the attention, girl, I know you. But you're everything I want in life. Yeah. We're fighting danger like kung fu. The love I feel is deep inside. The others don't matter. It's honestly us against the world. We're the perfect team. You're my dream, and I just want it. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. To myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. It's my to myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. To myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself.
So we got the subframe out, had a few seized up bolts, but managed to get them all free, except for actually the dog bone mount. We had to drill out one of the fasteners for that. But here you can see the damage to the subframe from being so low. Front mounts for the control arms are worn completely through. There's a big impact here. You can see it tore the subframe and dented it in. So we're gonna get the used subframe that we're gonna put in here prepped up and then bolt everything back together. Also forgot to mention, you can see near the green tape, I put back in the intercooler bracket. So now the intercooler pipe won't be flopping around, blowing off, and rubbing the rubber boot here onto the axle. So the only thing left to do, like I said before, was put the subframe back in and then tackle the electrical issue. So I got a new battery for the Mark IV, so we'll throw that in soon and then start figuring out if we have any weird electrical gremlins or not. Right now I'm working on updating the flash on the JHM RS6 car. This was built by me last year, and now I'm just finalizing the tune with Blake Beetle. So right now it's just flashing onto the car, and hopefully in an hour or two we are going to take this out for the next logs, as well as the B6 KO4 car to get some initial logs on that for some upgrades in the future. One piece I'm working on today is this E30 valve cover. We're going to do polished raised lines and letters here. So right now I've got it to kind of a smooth brushed look. I just got to grab some more polish and do a little bit more work on it to get that high polish. But now it's time to jump back on the Mark IV. We'll get this used subframe up into the car. I have the new battery in, probably said that already. So all that's left is this subframe and then making sure we have no electrical issues. So guys, today's a new day. We're back in the shop. I didn't get any footage from it, but we did take out the B6 and the Nagaro Stage 3 cars for some logging. They performed really well, so we're hopefully going to get the B6 car pro-tuned, and I think we have at least one more revision on the Nagaro car. So next time I take those cars out logging, I'll definitely bring the camera along and get some good footage for you guys. For now though, we have the Mark IV back on the ground. I just have to torque on the wheels, get it off the lift, which is always the fun part, and then we can start making sure that the electrical problem is non-existent. The good battery's in there and it's been holding charge overnight, so we should be good to go. So I noticed the keys weren't working in the Mark IV. Something might be up with the central locking or the key programming itself, so I'm going to go ahead and do some scanning and reprogram the keys on this. So that wasn't too bad. It just turned out to be a couple fuses. I realized I couldn't connect to the comfort control module, so basically started with all the common fuses, found 2 that were blown, and I don't even have to reprogram the key. Everything is still working well. Windows go up. The key fob works now for locking and unlocking, and the interior lights work. So the car is ready to get sent out now. So I was in kind of a rush to get that valve cover done, so I didn't get much filmed, but I'll insert a picture here so you guys can see what the finished product looked like. At the end of that day, we pulled the Mark IV to the driveway and it got completely beached. The subframe that I put in didn't have the lower control arm mount areas ground off like the old one, so it was sitting a little bit lower and grinding everywhere on the asphalt. Next time I'll make sure to film it because it was actually pretty funny. Yesterday I also got some parts in the mail that I'm going to be trialing and hopefully testing to put up on the website soon once I know that they're quality parts and worth selling. So you guys will have to stay tuned for releases of those items, but they'll be budget friendly and some interesting items that aren't so easy to get sometimes. Right now I have the Nagaro car back in the shop and I'm putting on coilovers. As you can see, we have KW V1s that we're putting in to replace the stock sport suspension. I've already put in the fronts and you can see it's sitting quite a bit lower than the rear. The wheels and tires should arrive tomorrow, so I'm not going to worry too much about the height right now, as I'll have to do a lot of adjusting once those come in, as well as after it settles and we get an alignment. Thankfully on this S4, all the control arms were replaced by the owner recently, so no pinch bolts are stuck, so this is a fairly simple job. I did end up finding that one of the strut top mounts was totally blown apart and split in 3 spots, so we put a good used one back in the car to fix that problem. So I'll continue on with this job and get the rear coilovers installed. After that, I have some more powder coating to do for some bipipes for this car, as well as a few other pieces being dropped off today.
If you ever need a helper, you should know that I'll be there day and night. Nobody else can love you better. I'm here just to treat you right. You're the reason I'm alive. You're the only pain I can endure. And when you're not here, you're my dream, but I just want it.
So I got the rears installed. They're pretty much maxed on the perch just to make it easier to put the shock in for now. The new wheels, like I said, it should be here tomorrow, so when we put those on, we'll adjust and set it to a reasonable ride height. It definitely gives the car a better stance instead of the 4x4 status that it had before. And the new wheels should look great, so I look forward to doing that. Also got a few more items dropped off to powder coat, some 034 bipipes, and an excess power inlet that we're going to chop down and clean up for use with the 034 carbon fiber airbox. Everything here is going crazy neon green color, so that should be pretty exciting. It'll be the first time I've done that color. So it's the next day. Started off today with some powder coating. We got a set of excess power pipes coated in HD flat black. They used to be polished, but they look a lot better in the black, I think. Now we're cutting down a intake pipe. It's going to be used with an 034 carbon fiber intake, so I'm cutting it shorter. We're going to put some nice bead rolled ends on it, and then powder coat this the same color as those bipipes. And right now we also have a bracket off of a Harley. We're doing in the same HD black as those bipipes. I think after this, we're going to tack together a section Mark IV subframe. And then the Nagaro car, when I pulled it out last night after doing the coils, the G40 camshaft position sensor finally went to a full open or short. We were getting an intermittent fault, but when I did the coils, I had moved the engine harness a bit, so that probably disturbed or finally broke the wire that was loose in the harness. So we're gonna check that out later too. So as you can see, I got that intake pipe cut down. I also sandblasted the end, so when we take it to get bead rolled, there won't be any issues with the paint chipping or clogging anything, and we'll get a nice clean roll. The Harley exhaust bracket came out pretty good. I'm really pleased with how this HD black color works, and I'll probably be using it on a lot more things in the future. I ended up not looking at the Nagaro car with the G40 sensor. The wheels for that car were going to be dropped off today, but we had to reschedule, so I'm going to worry about that another day. Instead, I took the 4.2 V8 downpipe flanges I got made and took them to my lathe, which is at my buddy's shop, and cut the taper in them, so those will be ready to start fabbing up the downpipes at the start of this week. As you can see, I made these to fit a 2.5 inch pipe, so we can go true 2.5 inch right out of the exhaust manifold, which is just slightly under 2.5 inch. Right now, these are just mild steel prototypes, and we just have to make sure that this angle that I calculated on the flange works and seals good. So now I'm just going to see how this video is going to turn out. I'm going to edit all these clips and see if it's something reasonable. Hopefully it works out, and I'm going to continue doing this at least once a week. I definitely think for next time I'm going to do some more time lapses and maybe check in a few more times to make it a little bit more interesting. If you guys have any comments or suggestions, definitely let me know. This upcoming week looks like it's going to be pretty interesting as well, so I should be able to get some good content and improve on the videos each week. One thing I want to ask you guys, and I'm also going to post it on the Audi Performance Facebook group, is what sort of build would you guys like to see in the future? We have a couple options. Would you guys like to see an eBay style KO4 build documented? I could do a budget single turbo kit on a 2.7. I could maybe play around with the V8 and some power adders. Or if you guys have any ideas on something that might be more relevant or more relatable to watch, let me know, and maybe I can work on putting that together in the future. If you made it this far, I want to thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to subscribe. And don't forget to check out my Facebook, Instagram, and website pages. You'll see the links in the description below. See you in the next one.
Yeah, I just wanna. You're my dream, but I just wanna.